please gather. In honor and respect for the somberness of the occasion tonight, I'd like to start this off with a few moments of silence. All right, thank you. Color guard?
Detail. Again. Shoot. Whole word. Mark. Detail. Halt. Prepare post color. Post color. Freeze. Mark. Order. Mark. Right. Face. Forward. Mark.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming out tonight on this cold and miserable night. I can't think of a more apropos weather for such an event. We're here tonight to gather and remember those and honor those who from our community were unhoused and unsheltered this year and whose lives ended this year. Each one of the people that we're speaking of was a person with a history and a family in their past or in their present, and a place in this world. And by coming together tonight, we ensure that they are not forgotten and that their lives mattered. And I'd like to invite you now to light your candles as a symbol of hope and compassion and commitment to recognizing the humanity in us all. Let these lights remind us all what we have lost this year and inspire us to work toward a future where no one is without a place to call home. Please, I would like to invite Mark Meek to come up and sing a song for us for this occasion.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Times get rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled waters. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take your part. Oh, when darkness comes and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. Sail on, silver girl, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled waters. I will ease your mind, like a bridge over troubled waters. I will ease your mind.
Thank you, Mark. That was beautiful. Now I would like to introduce a person who brings a unique experience and perspective to the situation that we are addressing tonight. Jessica Johnson has spent some time on the streets herself. She has lived experience of homelessness, and she is, for me, an inspiration of someone that has faced adversity and has taken that has overcome many barriers and taken it to a place where she is now running her own nonprofit, and has come here tonight to talk to us a little bit about what that experience was, and to share that with you so we can understand a little better about what we're talking about. So, Jessica, please come on up and join us.
Hi, guys. All right. Thank you all for coming out on such an important night. My name is Jessica Johnson, and I've been asked to speak my experience being homeless. These long, cold nights bring back so many sad, difficult memories. I'm pretty nervous up here tonight. Though I'm one of the lucky ones that made it off the streets alive, I still struggle with long-term psychosis from my drug use. I hear voices like loudspeakers screaming at me, and sometimes it makes it very difficult to concentrate and verbalize what I want to say. Typically, I wear headphones to drown them out, but I can't do that up here, so bear with me if I suddenly stop for a moment while I gather my own thoughts. 11 years ago, I was a very different person living a very different life. I was living in a tent, shooting meth. I started hallucinating and hearing voices. In the throes of my addiction, I didn't know what was happening. I would ride my bike endlessly looking for places to get out of the cold. I'd hang out in hotel lobbies, hoping I wouldn't get kicked out. I stayed in dumpsters and slept in abandoned buildings. I shared body heat with others I hardly knew in tents to keep warm. I had no car, no license. I pushed shopping carts and pulled trailers behind my bike, filled with junk I'd pull out of dumpsters that I thought was valuable and important. I hadn't worked for several years. I hadn't seen my daughter for over a year. I showered once a month at a church. Instead of being called daughter, mother, sister, or friend, the attributes assigned to me were a liar, a cheat, thief, mentally ill, and a drug addict. I had burned all my bridges. I had no place to go, but I did go places for sure. I was in and out of jail. Yep. Some days I would leave in the morning and I'd go back the same day. I accumulated thousands in court fines and probation violations. I frequently went to the hospital, handcuffed to a gurney. I walked the streets carrying a stethoscope, following voices. I cut holes in mattresses, thinking people were buried in them. At one point, I carried a machete down the street, in the middle of the street, thinking people were going to kill me. I called the cops on myself, believing that my family had been kidnapped, and even leaving ransom jewelry on the side of the road. I hurt others, and I let a lot of others hurt me and abuse me. I had lost a lot of friends out on the streets, and there are still so many without homes. Many here recognize the financial costs this crisis has on our community. I certainly do. But I stand here tonight to show others that people can rise up and change. They can become contributing members of society, and they can give back and help others, even when they have daily strugglers of mental illness. But at the core, addressing homeless is about caring. I remember the few people that took the time to care, those strangers who stopped on the side of the road when I was passed out at a bus stop to give me some food. Those people who asked if I needed help while I was screaming at my voices, pulling stuff out of my suitcase and throwing it into the streets. Thank you to the stranger who brought me some Starbucks one day for whatever reason. The coffee was a game changer. And thanks to McDonald's coffee, instead of a morning ritual of getting my fix, I made a routine of getting my $1 coffee with a free refill, and coffee definitely helped me remain sober. The biggest shift happened on October 15th, 2013. A powerful force of energy ran through my head. Amazing grace. I don't know, but I have not had one craving to use hard drugs or drink in 11 years. With the light shining a little bit brighter, I saw that there was a whole community out there, all of you, giving of yourself, your love. I couldn't have done it all without you. As a present member of this community, I am able to follow my passion to help others in need, especially those who struggle with mental illness and substance abuse, since I can definitely relate. Which I wish for everyone to remember is people don't choose to be addicts or have a mental illness. There's not one person grappling with substance abuse that took their first drink or that first drug and announced, now I am going to be a drug addict. Addiction sneaks up on you until it has you by the throat, plunged into darkness and hopelessness. This community holds the candle that leads them out of their darkness. Those working in the area of addressing homelessness and housing insecurity recognize that everyone's path is different. Not everyone on the streets is an addict or mentally ill. Many are paycheck away from being houseless. We all know how imperative that the money is directed to compassionate emergency detox, mental illness, or mental health and addiction services. Housing, providing nutritional food, providing treatment and education. Again, an important part of my healing process is giving back and helping others. In the beginning of my sobriety, I'd go from tent to tent, checking on folks, passing out blankets and clothing I'd collected, and I'd be the person to listen, to care, and point folks to resources. In 2021, I started a nonprofit called Mud Blossom Connections. But because of my ongoing struggles with mental illness, I could not do any of these projects without the unflinching help from my board members, my mother, my friends, and my volunteers. Thank you all. Our biggest accomplishment for Mud Blossom is Mud Blossom has joined with Kroger, Fred Meyer, Zero Waste, Zero Hunger program. From just one store this last year alone, Mud Blossom has collected over 100,000 pounds of food that would otherwise have gone to a landfill. Many of you are familiar faces because I deliver food to your organization, to the houseless, to sober living houses, to transitional housing and families in need. We are the lucky ones. We get to change lives one person at a time. And though the mountain at times seems too high to climb, its journey is not the destination. There are switchbacks and setbacks, but the accumulated small triumphs give us a greater view and expansive insight as to what could be if we all continue to work together. The individual rewards are invaluable. Now I have a healthy relationship with my family and friends. I have a tribe that loves me and supports me. I have an amazing daughter back in my life. I have my license and car. I'm contributing to learn videography. I play music, I do art, and I smile. And I'm honest and I'm accountable. I'm passionate about helping others rise up. Housing First must remain a forefront of change. It remains a long-term goal of Mud Blossom Connections to continue to work with all of you and ultimately get the necessary funding through grants and donations to provide affordable transitional housing and educational awareness. We need to continue to work on the causes of homelessness, whether it be childhood abuse, poverty, drugs, deteriorating educational system, or lack of mental health counseling, or lack of affordable housing and good nutrition. We need to continue to work together because it's going to take all of us to truly change the way society cares for its most vulnerable people. Thanks again to every one of you for being here tonight. It's the same team, guys. Peace and healing to all of us.
Tonight, we're gathering not only to honor those who we have lost, but also to recognize the deep connections that they had with those who cared for them. Sometimes the service providers, those who walk alongside individuals through their hardest times, form a bond that is profound and unique. They often carry a special kind of grief, one born out of compassion, dedication, and shared humanity. To help us reflect on this, we're grateful tonight to have Stephanie and Carlos here tonight. They will share a story that is unique and personal to them, a story that reminds us of the impact every life leaves behind and the strength found in care and connection. Please join me in welcoming Stephanie and Carlos.
No, hey, everybody. My name is Carlos Tovar, and I'm here tonight to share this remembrance for Doug Lorenzana. I knew him as Doug. It seemed that Doug was misunderstood by many people during his journey through life. When I was informed I'd be working with him, I was under the impression that he could be an unkind or rude person, that I may need to prepare for some unsettling words or comments. To be honest, I thought I had a tough case on my hands, but that's not what happened with Doug. When I first met him, he had been in his housing for just over 2 years, having previously been homeless. He finally had the stability to address some medical issues that had been causing him a lot of pain. There was a growth on his neck, and he was going back and forth to the doctor for checkups. There are a few things I won't forget about this case, and one is the day that Doug called to deliver some tough news he had found out about himself. Doug was diagnosed with cancer and was told he only had 6 months to live. Doug was distraught at this news and told me how scared he was. I went over to his apartment where Doug and I cried together. I gave him a hug and letting him know that we would fight until we couldn't anymore. I told Doug that doctors are wrong all the time and that I wasn't going to give up on him. He told me that he considered me an actual friend, and even though I was just his caseworker, he could tell that I was there to help. My mission was to make sure Doug was as comfortable as possible, just in case the doctors were right. I remember him asking me while I was working with him at that point, and that he hoped this one sticks around. I told him that I was there to listen and to help, and that the past didn't matter. What mattered was us getting to know each other and getting Doug to feel better, or at least comfortable. In the following months, Doug was appreciative of the little things that we could provide. Doug had a brand new AC unit that he was very happy about. He got a new ID, and he was getting food regularly. He would let me know his thanks by leaving voice notes often. He also had a partner who helped him through everything he needed, and I know he felt cared for despite his illness. Doug told me that he was feeling better in his last days and that he appreciated what Northwest Family Services was doing for him. On Monday, August 5th, 2024, I reached out to Doug to see how he was doing, but the text I got back was from his uncle, saying that Doug Lorenzana passed away on the evening of Friday, August 2nd, 2024. Doug was a kind and loving human being. He was in a lot of pain in his last days, and some people may have thought he was angry with them. Doug didn't hate anyone. He was just hurting a lot. He only needed to be heard and supported. Doug would definitely be missed, and I hope wherever he is, he hears this and knows that he is still loved and cared about. Thank you.
Here we go. Good to see you. Nice to see you. Okay. Homelessness is not just the absence of a home. It's the lack of safety, dignity, and opportunity. It can stem from various factors: economic instability, mental health challenges, addiction, and systemic barriers. Yet despite the complex issues that we are faced with every day, the narratives surrounding homelessness often oversimplify the issue, painting those we walk alongside as statistics rather than individuals with stories and dreams. I'm thankful for events like tonight, where we can break through those stigmas and statistics and we bring names and faces and stories to the light. They are humans and they deserve that I'm gonna get it. They are humans that deserve safety, dignity, and love, and we will continue to show up and offer that every day. Tonight, I have the privilege of remembering just one of the many friends that we've lost this year, Jagger Tips. Jagger Tips, JT, was my friend, my little brother. He was my sweet little goofball. He was always good for a laugh. His childlike spirit resonated from him and made you want to engage. Jagger was an Alaskan native who moved to the Canby, Oregon City area with his father and brother. I'm sorry, that light just blinded me. He lived here in our community most of his life. He graduated from a local school and was a member of this county. He had parents that loved him, a family that supported him, and friends that checked in on him constantly. He also had struggles. His struggles grew, and while family and friends tried to help him, he retreated inside and sought ways to quiet all of the noise. When I met Jagger years ago, I was instantly drawn to him. He was a quiet little gamer and kept to himself for the most part at the day center. We talked about getting housed and what that might look like for him. He always wanted to wait and said others needed it more. We watched as his time outside took its toll on him. Our sweet Jagger turned into someone else as he battled demons he didn't speak of. We shared many quiet conversations and spent hours together. I remember him getting injured, and I went to the hospital with him. I sat in the waiting room with him. He told everyone that entered a different answer as to who I was and why I was here to support him. He thought it was hilarious and loved to watch their faces as they tried to connect us. He told them I was his sister, his mother, his girlfriend, his caseworker, whatever it was, and it was so fun. I visited him every day that he was in the hospital, and I would call to make sure he still wanted me to come and hang out with him. When I got there, he was so proud because he would have ordered all the food he was allowed to order off the menu, and he'd have it all waiting for us, and we would eat all the cheeseburgers and pizzas and other snacks, and we would watch TV and pretend that this was normal. I think that's all he searched for his whole life, for so long, was a feeling of normal. We had struggles with Jagger as he battled the troubles of being outside. We knew and feared what could happen when we weren't there. We discussed the realities of carrying Narcan, being safe, getting help. What else can we do for you? We want the best for everyone that we serve. Our journey together was long and powerful, but it was not long enough. The day Jagger passed, my phone was ringing off the hook. Word travels fast in our community. People knew that someone had passed away, and we did all of our normal phone trees trying to find out who might be missing. I kept hearing Jagger's name, but one thing I've learned is to hold on to hope and wait for confirmation. I called everyone I could think of that may know if it was true, and no one could confirm. That was Sunday night, St. Patrick's Day, actually. I went to bed with a heavy heart, knowing tomorrow I would have to go to the Father's heart, and we would all be waiting to hear who we lost and who had passed. The call came before I left for work that morning, about 6 a.m., and I was notified that we had lost Jagger. I've never cried so hard. That one hurt really bad. I cried. They asked if I had family contact info because we were the closest that he had been with over the past. I'm sorry, I lost my... I worried and dreaded that this day would come. I cried because I was so sure we were going to make it. We were doing everything right. We were fighting the demons. We were taking the steps. He was going to get out of this. And with one call, all of that came crashing down. Jagger passed alone, not far from here. He may have been physically alone that day, but he was never without us spiritually. He had all of us loving him. He was loved by friends and family from Oregon to Alaska, from California to Australia. Everyone was holding a space for him in their hearts and loving him no matter what. The last time I saw Jagger was the Friday before. Earlier that week, we received a donated smoking-type jacket. It was very swanky, and the staff grabbed it immediately. We knew that it was his type. He walked out that Friday at 2 p.m. We had our usual banter at the counter. Love you too, be safe, I will. Rolled his eyes. Take care, Jagger. Please be here Monday. I will. Stop worrying about me, I'm fine. I snapped a photo of him in that jacket as he walked out that door. My heart still tightens when I think about him. What else could we have done? What else should we have done? The lessons I've learned from walking alongside of Jagger will be with me forever. He will forever be that sweet little boy, even though his age was not terribly far from my own. After his passing, I found his family and reached out. I wanted to know more about him, but I also wanted them to know he was loved unconditionally. Meeting them gave me a new perspective on the work we do every day. We hope and pray that everyone enters our doors and has a support system that loves them, but it is up to our participants to share that part of their story. We love without judgment. We love without judgment. We love right where we meet someone, and Jagger was no exception. He was special to us just as he was. Meeting them and hearing how hard they also fought for him made my heart swell. He was truly loved by so many. What the community may have seen and judged was a beautiful soul that was adored by all of those that knew him. Thank you, Jagger, for teaching me and loving me and allowing me to make mistakes and grow alongside of you. Your journey forever changed me, and I'm thankful for the way that you touched me and all of the staff and everyone else that worked. We will forever see the human beings behind the homelessness. Where some community members see trash, we see trauma. Where people see drugs, we see pain. Where people see, enter derogatory term here, we see someone full of life that deserves respect and love. We love fully every day, and we offer little pieces of our heart to all that come to us. And thanks to the beautiful humans that enter our doors, I don't think anything will be able to sway us from that feeling. I'm thankful again for times like this, because remembering those we've lost have the power to transform our grief into action. We can raise awareness, support one another, and ensure that no one feels alone in their struggles. Let's honor the memory of our loved ones by working together to create a community that is compassionate and understanding, a place where healing can begin. Thank you, Jagger. Thank you, Jagger's family. Thank you to the staff and the volunteers of the Father's Heart. May we love human beings forever and show up for them always. And may there be peace in every broken heart tonight. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm April Fuller. I work at the Father's Heart. I'm not a public speaker, and this is kind of terrifying, but I asked for this honor because This is particularly meaningful for me. I know and worked with over half of the people being remembered tonight. We honor these 36 individuals lost this year, ranging in age from 19 to 102. These losses are beyond tragedy, and we gather here in collective grief to remember and celebrate their lives. As we read each name, a candle will be lit in their memory. We invite the person holding a rose with that individual's name to come forward and place the rose in one of these two vases as a tribute to their life. Before we begin, I'd like to say a few words about the significance of light at a time like this. A candle is a small light, but it is enough to break the darkness. As we light these candles, let each flame remind us of the light that every life carries, each one valuable, seen, and worthy of remembrance. Candlelight has long symbolized hope, healing, and connection. In this light, we honor our friends' names, their stories, and their humanity. As we stand here together, let these candles also light a path toward compassion, justice, and change, and fewer candles next year. May the glow of these flames remind us that even in the darkest moments, we can bear witness and hold each other in love and care. Richard Howells from the Homeless Solutions Coalition is going to join me in reading the names and lighting the candles. Roxanne Ali.
Stephen Biscoff.
Shane Bowden.
Jeff Bradford.
Gary Bergen.
Frank Carter.
Joseph Collins Sr.
McKenna Davidson.
James Harris.
Robert Haynes.
James Keffer.
Amit Kumar.
Krishan Patel.
Tanya Saunders.
John Schmidt.
Jaeger Tips.
Jamie Arellano.
Tasha Belcher.
Dennis Bird.
Suzanne Coleman.
Mitchell Cormier.
Maria Harrington.
Stephen Harrison.
Christopher Johnson.
Stanley Jones.
Julie Kempke.
Charles Kopp.
Douglas Lorenzana.
Nadezhda Lisova.
Alan Peterman.
Matthew Peterson.
Gregory Richter.
Randall Seaton.
Tisha Sleeper.
William Wiedemann.
Pamela Wilson. Now, there may be names that some of you know that we don't have on our list. One name that we're adding is David Brock. Is there anyone in the crowd that has a name you'd like to add, just shout it out and I'll repeat it. Sean Lowry. Did I get that right? Sean Lowry. Say again? Tyler Coleman. Thank you. Eric Dickinson. Okay, thank you.
You guys can sing along. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we're all wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you can borrow, for no one can feel those of your needs that you won't let show. So call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lean on when you need someone. Lean on. I know you're gonna need somebody. Just lean on. Oh, lean on. Come on, lean on. Come on, everybody. Lean on when you need it. Lean on. Come on. Lean on. We're all in it. Lean on. We're in it together, right? Lean on. Neighbors. Lean on when you need. Lean on. Lean on.
Thank you all. Go in peace.